What's good, YouTube? It's your girl Liciaparie, and I am back with another video. And if you're new to my channel, welcome and welcome back. Make sure y'all subscribe and also hit that post notification bell so you know when your girl posts new videos. All right, y'all, so this is gonna be a story time about when I went to a haunted house. So yeah, so one day me and my friends decided that we were gonna go to this haunted house. It was out of state, y'all, so it was like a 8-hour drive, you know. So we went to this haunted house. It was 8 of us, so we were in 2 separate cars following each other or whatever. So the house that we went to, it was on a beach, right? It was like a beach house. So I was like, how is this a haunted house? Because it does not look haunted at all, y'all. It looked really nice. But when you got inside, a lot of the stuff was like antique stuff that was inside. And it gave me grandma vibes, you know? So I'm like, okay, girl, all right. So we're in this house. They're giving us a whole little backstory about the house and this and that, you know, how the house supposed to be haunted, how it was a family that lived there, and the husband went crazy, so-called murdered the wife and the kids, blah blah blah. They said he had went insane and then he killed himself at the end. So we was like, oh no, like, girl. So our homegirl brought us there, y'all. She set everything up. And she was like, yeah, y'all can come. It's going to be really nice. She said it was going to be a new experience. You know, she was like, and it gives you scary, creepy vibes. She was like, but at the same time, it's like, oh my gosh, like I'm really in the house of someone who really went insane, you know, type shit. And I'm just like, girl, like, we could have just went to Fright Fest. Like, let's just be honest. We could have just went there. But we did that instead. So y'all, we were there for 3 nights, okay? We were there Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday night. We left Monday morning. So when we got there, we pretty much, you know, went to go get something to eat. You know, we bought like little mini groceries, you could say, the meat, the cheese, bread, and stuff like that that we had in our cooler. So we brought all that. You know, we had at least 2 days worth, but one of them days we was gonna eat out, probably get some pizza or something. We don't know if they had pizza in the area, basically, or we would just go to the store. So when we got there, after it was like after 3, when we got there and, you know, we got settled and everything was cool. Like, we kind of walked around. They gave a little tour of the place, you know, and then they showed us like the outside, and you know, the beach was right here, and it was like nobody there, and it was only like 3 houses on the beach, but it was like spread it out, like literally it seemed like the next house was like a mile away. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, literally it was kind of like some Ozark shit, you know, but creepy. So you have the beach on the left side of the house. It was like a huge field, and it was like a field of flowers, pretty much, you know, like regular little flowers that you see. Okay. And then the other side was like nothing there. It was just nothing. Okay, so I'm like, okay, this is cool. We can actually, you know, come outside. You know, we have room, chairs. They had a sitting area. We can go outside. We can sit. We can make like a campfire thing. I was like, that'd be nice, cool. So coming up to that night, we made a campfire. And it was nice. We were all out there just kind of talking, telling each other like little scary stories, you know, because it was coming up for Halloween. So we're like, you know, hey, let's tell each other, you know, scary stories or something that we've experienced or whatnot. So we're all like, okay, telling our scary stories and whatnot. Okay, so all of a sudden, it sounded like it was wolves howling. Okay, the first time I heard it, and I'm like, do y'all hear that? And they're like, nah, we don't hear nothing. And then probably like 5 minutes after that, we heard it again. But it sounded like multiple. And they're like, what is that? And I'm like, y'all, I don't know what that is. And I don't want to be out here to find out. I feel like, you know, we should cut this camping a little short and go in the house. And they're like, yeah, let's just go in the house. We pretty much went in the house and ate sweets. You know, we were eating cookies and stuff, still talking, having a good time, blah, blah, blah. And then we decided to go to bed. Okay. Now, we went to bed around maybe around 1 something. Everybody went to bed around 1 something. Okay. Now, I got up about 2 something to go to the restroom. And then I was hearing howling noises. Still hearing howling noises. And I'm like, ooh, I'm starting to get a little scared. Because I'm not scary or anything. But it's just like we're out here in the middle of nowhere. Okay. And we're on a beach / field next to us / it was giving me Jeepers Creepers. And I'm not in the mood for that. Like, we're literally out here, we're sitting ducks. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, look, y'all. I knocked on my friend's door. I was like, look, do y'all hear this howling? Like, I was like, we need to figure out what this is, because I can't sleep and we have howling going on. Like, I'm scared. What if we sleeping and then something jumped through the window? And we have no way to protect ourselves. I mean, we can pick up some of this antique stuff that's around this house and we can make it do what it do. You know, we can grab some knives or something in the kitchen. Like, we can figure it out. But the point is, we need to know what we're dealing with. She was like, yeah, but it's nothing that we can really do tonight. She said, in the morning, I'll just call the owners and ask them if they have, like, wolves or maybe even coyotes out here. I said, girl, ain't no damn coyotes out here. I said, you know what? I said, you right. We're gonna wait in the morning. Okay, we're gonna wait in the morning. So now we're all doubled up pretty much in the room. Okay, so they had 4 bedrooms and it was 8 of us, so it's 2 people in each bedroom. So I'm telling my friend, I'm like, bitch, I was like, I don't think I can sleep. And she's like, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't think I can sleep either. And I'm like, okay, so we just finna be up. But long story short, we end up both falling asleep, y'all. And we were cool. So early in the morning, my friend called the owners and they said, no, they don't have any coyotes. And that they heard that it's wolves that come out every now and then. That's what they heard. So they don't know for sure. Okay, keep that in mind. I'm like, well, that's not really helping us, but I guess, I mean, if they saying it's just wolves, whatever. I was like, but I'm just saying wolves are vicious, okay? They don't care who you are, they will attack. And I don't have time for that. I said, so I just think we should, you know, not do the little camping thing at night. And we'll just do it during the day, because I'm not for the wolves coming out while we chilling at night, you know, laid up with blankets and stuff on us, and we thinking everything is cool, and all of a sudden the wolf just show up and we gotta try to run in the house. I was like, nah, we're just gonna chill on the camping thing outside. And so she's like, yeah, we'll just chill. Okay. During the day, it was beautiful, y'all. We had time to talk. We really just kind of like chilled. It was kind of like being in your own little Airbnb with all your friends, basically. So we pretty much stayed in the house. Now, we did walk on the beach. We went swimming. We did all of that. And that was cool. But we pretty much stayed in the whole time. So, yeah. Everything is cool during the day. Okay, but it seemed like at night is where the issues lie. So the next night comes. Okay, it's nighttime. I didn't hear any howling. Now somebody's banging on the door. We don't know who it is. I'm telling my friend, don't open this door, because we don't know who this person is. Okay, so it wound up being the owner, and the owner was like, hey, y'all, I bought y'all some fresh fruit. So she brought us some fruit. It was like a little nice fruit basket, you know, it was sealed and everything, you know. So she bought 2 baskets worth of fruit, and it had like other little snacks in here, you know. She was like, you know, for renting out our place and this and that. And we're like, oh, okay, cool. So, you know, we in the living room having a good time, blah, blah, blah. The owner left. Okay, cool. About an hour later, we're hearing sounds. all types of noises. It sounded like a mist of the wind blowing, stuff scratching the windows. Like, it was just too much. And I'm like, what is it now? Like, what is really going on? And my friend was like, I think the wind is just blowing hard. I'm just like, okay. The wind is blowing so hard that it's like scratching the windows. No, that's not wind. And she's like, Alicia, I really think that you're being paranoid and that you're hearing things. And I'm like, I'm not hearing things. Like, I heard what I heard. Like, how you gonna tell me what I heard? I heard what I heard. And she's like, I'm just saying, nobody else heard it. I said, okay, nobody else heard it. An hour after that, she heard it. And she's like, oh, well, you know, it's nothing. Y'all, it's late at night. The wind is blowing. You know, you see the trees and stuff. You know, just, I'm not saying it was moving. But, like, you know how you see the little trees rock and stuff. You know, little limbs and stuff when the wind blowing hard. That type of shit. That's basically what it was. And I'm just like, okay. Well, you know what? Maybe that's just all it is. You know, maybe it's just rubbing against the window. Then you start hearing all types of noises. I'm hearing all types of noises. I'm hearing the howling again. I'm hearing these like screeching noises. And so I'm just like, nah, like, y'all playing. At this point, I feel like somebody was setting us up. Okay? I'm like, there is no way I should be hearing screeching noises, wind blowing. I said, if y'all trying to scare us, this is not the time for that. And my friend was like, nobody's trying to scare y'all. And I'm just like, somebody gotta be trying to scare us. Like, literally, somebody has to be trying to scare us. I said, I don't know if it's one of y'all or what, but all I know is that it's too much happening. And they're like, you're being paranoid. No, I'm not paranoid because you heard it too. But you just acting like you didn't hear it. Now, the reason why she act like she didn't hear it, I'll explain it in the end. Morning starts to hit. It was like 1 something in the morning. It seemed like that's when all the action happened. All right. 1 something in the morning, we hear screaming. So it was so loud to the point to where we all got out of the house because we heard screaming from outside. It woke every last one of us up. So everybody is downstairs. Everybody is outside trying to figure out what is that screaming. It sounded like a lady screaming. So we're outside looking, you know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, y'all, I don't see anybody. And they're like, we don't see anybody either. So then we hear somebody screaming even louder. And literally it sounded like that person was standing maybe across from you. It was that loud. And so we're looking, we don't see anybody. And I'm just like, something's not right. Like, what is going on? And then we hear the howling noises. And I'm like, y'all, we really shouldn't be out here, you know, just in case a wolf come. And they're like, man, but we need to figure out, you know, if somebody's screaming, they might need help and this and that. So I'm like, bro, like, I don't want to be out here. Like, I really don't. And so we're using the flashlights off of our phone. We were searching and trying to see where the screaming was coming from. And so it went from regular screaming to help me type of thing. And I'm like, you know, I'm like, at this point, somebody's really asking for help. So I just, you know, was like, Alicia, just put the paranoid shit to the side and let's try to find this lady who needs help. We were searching, y'all. We could not find this lady. We hear her, but we can't see her. And I was like, look, y'all, I don't know. Like, I can't find her. And they was like, okay, well, let's just separate. Half of us go this way, half of us go that way. I said, see, we're not going to separate. Because every time people separate in movies, somebody wind up getting hurt. I said, now, I'm not saying this is a movie or anything. I'm just saying real life shit. People wind up getting hurt when they separate. So let's just all walk together. And they're like, okay, you know what? You're right. Let's just all walk together. So we walked up and down the beach, y'all. Walking. We walked through the field just to sit here and see if we could hear this lady or see this lady. We could not see her. All we hear is screaming, help us. We were outside for like 4 hours trying to find this lady and we could not find her. I literally gave up because I'm just like, bruh, nobody's out here. Like, this has to be a joke. Like, nobody is out here. Like, we've been out here for 4 hours. Like, come on, bro. Ain't nobody out here. Like, it's almost 6 in the morning. I am tired. I just want to lay down. All you hear is the screaming shit. So I'm like, okay, whatever. And they're like, look, I think we should call the police. You know what I'm saying? Because somebody was screaming and we can't find that person, so we should call the police. So I'm like, all right, cool. So we so-called called the police. And also, we called the owner. So the police and the owner came. Now, they got there at the same time. Is that a coincidence? Okay. The policeman was like, okay, where'd y'all hear it? He started asking us all these questions, and we're answering all these questions. Like, look, we've been hearing howling. We've been hearing all types of stuff. And he was like, well, why are y'all hearing howling? And then the owner was like, well, they told us that, you know, they were hearing howling, and we were informed that it may be wolves come out, but we've never seen it. And the deputy was like, we don't have any wolves out here. Bitch. When he said we don't have any wolves out here, I said, y'all don't have any wolves. What? I said, bro, you're playing. Like, seriously, y'all have no wolves out here. And he's like, no, we don't have any wolves out here. He was like, so y'all couldn't have heard wolves howling. I said, I told my friend, I said, we need to go, because I feel like we overstayed our welcome. You know, these little couple days was enough. And she was like, Alicia, we have one more day, so let's just stick it out. And then I'm just like, why are we sticking it out another day? Like, I'm not understanding. What is the point? I was like, look, a lady was screaming. We couldn't find her. Y'all so-called claim it was wolves howling, right? Because the so-called owner said it probably was wolves, even though she did not know. And then the deputy tell us there are no wolves out here. I was like, if that's not a sign that it's time to go, what is it? She was like, I just feel like maybe we were just being paranoid. I said, we're not being paranoid. Literally, we all heard the wolves or whatever howling. Like, we heard it. We all heard it. We can't all be paranoid. Like, I'm not understanding. And she's like, well, it's just one friend, y'all. You know, you always have that one person out the group that's in denial. Like, you try to tell them something and they act like they don't understand. And then they act like, you know, everything is just peaches and cream. And you're like, look, something ain't right. She's like, I tell her, it's a hole right there. And she walked that direction and fall in the hole. Like, that's the type of person she is. And I was just over it. And I was over her. And I was like, we need to take a vote. I wanted to vote, okay? So everybody was like, you know what? We're going to stick it out one more night, and then we're going to leave in the morning. Cool. I said, so we got another night of not sleeping and being paranoid. So this is the last night that we're there, y'all. I was like, look, I'm not going to sleep. I'm finna stay up, and whatever happens, happens, okay? It seemed like everything happens around 1 in the morning. So 1 in the morning is when I'm going to be up. So I took a nap throughout the day. Because I said, I'm going to take this nap so I can get a little rest so I can be up all night. That was what I was going to do. Now, I was waiting for it. I said, when 1 o'clock hit, it's like clockwork. Something's going to happen. So 1 in the morning hit, y'all. I said, all right, it's going to start. Nothing happened. Okay. 1:30 hit. Nothing happened. I'm like, okay. 1:45 hit. All right. We hear the screaming again. Now it's more than one person screaming. It's 2 people screaming. It sounds like 2 women screaming very loud now. Everybody woke up. Everybody ran outside. Everybody's like, okay. Yeah, something ain't right. Okay. Then you hear the howling again. I'm like, okay. Screaming and howling. Everybody's trying to figure out what's going on. And I said, y'all know what? I feel like something's not right. But y'all don't want to listen to me. So I'm going to keep my mouth shut. So then my friend gets on the phone, calls the deputy, say, hey, we're hearing the same thing, screaming and howling. This time, 2 people are screaming. It sounds like 2 women. And they're saying the same stuff they were saying at first. Help me. She was like, and we hear the howling. Please come. We need help. Okay, she gets off the phone. She calls the owner on the phone. She tells the owner the same thing. She tells the owner that the deputy is coming and, please come. And we need help. I'm like, okay. So we're all walking outside, we're trying to figure out what's going on. We walking around, hearing the screams and this and that. So now peep this. When the owner gets there, right? Because we called the owner. The owner and the deputy gets there at the same time. Again, I peeped that too. Then I'm like, okay. All of a sudden, the screaming stopped. The screaming that we heard, it stopped. The howling stopped. It was literally nothing, right? Nothing. So I'm like, okay, this cannot be life. Like, something's not right. Everybody else going along with it. And I'm saying to myself, this is a setup. This has to be a setup. Now, the deputy's like, okay, let's walk the field. We walk the field. Now, as many times as we walk the field and as many times as we walk the beach, we didn't see nobody, okay? We walked the field, y'all. It was a lady laid out in the field. Laid out. Bloody. Like her shirt was full of blood. She had blood coming right here from her mouth. And she had like a wound right here on the side of her head. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, and everybody was like, oh my gosh, is she alive? And is she okay? Blah, blah, blah. So they're checking her pulse, and it was like, oh, she's alive. She's still alive. Let's help her up and get her in here. And I'm thinking, like, how'd she get out here? Huh? How did she get out here? I'm like, okay, this is a setup. Like, this is really a setup. I'm like, she paid somebody to do this. And I said, I know it was my friend who paid somebody to do this. Probably to scare the shit out of us. And you know what? It works. I was like, okay, I'm finna play along. We're supposed to be leaving in the morning. So I'm finna play along. So I'm like, oh, is she okay? Blah, blah, blah. We get the lady in the house. Sit her down. She said it was a man that was chasing her, and she got lost, and all of a sudden she just blacked out. I guess he hit her over the head with something. She blacked out. Somebody hit you over the head with something out here with nothing. It had to be something like a gun or maybe something like that. You know what I'm saying? Because it's nothing out here. I mean, it's a tree, but what you gonna do? Break a branch? No, it's nothing out here. So I'm like, okay. So she's giving us this little sob story. And I'm sitting here like, I said, question. Were you screaming for help? And she was like, yeah, it was me screaming for help and this and that. And I was like, well, it sounded like it was two people. She was like, I had a friend that was with me, but I don't know where she is. I just lost her. Like, broke down crying. I'm like, okay. I'm like, all right. So she's still out there. She's like, yeah, she's still out there. So the deputy said, I'm going to go out there and see if I can find somebody. Blah, blah, blah. All right. While we sitting there inside and shit, we hear screeching on the windows. All of a sudden, it sounded like glass shattered. So we're like, okay. So I was like, well, let's go see what that was. So me and my other friend, we walked outside. We seen it was the deputy's car. Somebody so-called shattered the glass. Okay. And I'm like, damn. They shattered the glass in the car. And I'm like, well, somebody got to be out here. Y'all. We ran back in the house. We hear beating on the door. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. They say nothing. And I'm like, okay, let's look to see if that's the deputy. I looked outside. I didn't see nobody, okay? Then I was like, there's nobody out there. Came back in, and then I heard boop, 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 boop. I looked out. This time, it was a man with all black on. And he had like a black ski mask. I'm like, y'all, it's a man out here, all black on. He had a black ski mask. Like, what we gonna do? And they were like, well, what's going on with the deputy? I don't know. I don't know where the deputy is, but his window is busted out of his car. So, y'all, the dude beat down the door. He came in, he had like a gun, he was pointing it at us, and he said, give me everything y'all got. And we're sitting there like, oh my God, my friends is bawling, y'all. They are crying their eyes out, crying. And I'm sitting here like, what did I get myself into? I was like, is this still a game to them? That's what I'm saying to myself. Like, is this real or is this fake? Because at this point, we have a gun waved in our faces. I don't even know if this is real or not. And it got to the point to where my friend she was crying so hard, y'all. She was hyperventilating. Just bawling in tears. So we all holding each other and shit. And the dude sitting there, he said, give me everything you got. And he's screaming at us. And we're like screaming from the top of our lungs at this point, saying we don't want to die, blah, blah, blah. Then my friend, the one that I said was very suspicious, because every time you look up, she was calling the deputy and she was calling the owner. Every time I said something ain't right about her, she stands up and says, gotcha! This bitch. Y'all, when she said gotcha, I said to myself, I knew somebody was pulling some shit, but I couldn't figure it out. So let me tell y'all what happened. So she said gotcha, which means you got us, but you didn't get me all the way. You probably had me at first, but you didn't get me in the middle. Probably towards the end, I was a little skeptical, but in the middle, you didn't get me because I knew it was a setup. She said everything was rigged. Everything. The screaming that we heard at night was the owner. Okay? The owner was screaming. But the owner was playing a recording of her screaming. Okay? And she had it in, one of those like karaoke microphones. That's what she had it. So that's why it sounded like she was right there by us, but she wasn't. Okay? Boom. The deputy was the one that was playing the howling noises to make it seem like the wolves was out here. And he's not even a deputy. Okay? He is the owner of the home. He is the husband to the wife that's the owner. I didn't even know the woman was married. Okay. They did all the setup, the screeching noises. He said all he did was take a few of the branches and rub them across the windows to make the noises. That's what he did. The cop car that he came in, y'all, was his brother's car. He used his brother's car for a prank. So basically, the haunted house that my friend decided to get, it was one of the haunted houses where basically how it works is it's a haunted house that you have to book, right? So you book the house, and then it's like the people, they have like staff members and all that. They have people that actually come in and set up different things. They do different things. Like sometimes they'll have like a ghost walk in the house or something like that, or like a break-in. They do different scenarios. But this scenario, she didn't want to be too graphic, so she chose to have that done. Because she knew that the noises, the screaming, the howling was going to get us. She knew that for a fact. So she paid for that. So basically, you just pay for people to scare the hell out of other people. I'm like, girl, you mean to tell us you brought us all the way down here to scare us? Y'all, I was too through. And the fact that people actually do that is crazy to me. But I'm not gonna lie. She had us going at first. But I knew something was up. I really did. But it's okay, y'all. It is okay. Because you know what? You fooled me at the beginning, but you didn't fool me in the middle. You kind of fooled me at the end because I was a little nervous about the break-in. But yeah. But I'm not gonna lie, we did enjoy ourselves until, all that happened. And the thing about it is, you can have stuff happen during the day, or you can have stuff happen at night, or both. Okay? she chose for it to be at night around the morning time, because that's around the time where it's like late at night and you're in a new place, a new area you don't know nothing about. So that's the time to really scare somebody. So that was her choice, to sit here and choose that one, and she did that. I'm not gonna lie to you, she did that. That is like a place I will never forget. That's like one of the best pranks, you could say, because it was technically a prank. Okay, that was the best one. And if we could have recorded that, man, that would have been nice. If she wanted to scare the hell out of us, she did that, and I give her props for that one. So yeah, but anyways, y'all, I hope y'all like this little story time. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that post notification bell so y'all know when I post new videos. And I am